All right, 14, graph the following polynomial function. F of x equals negative 1 half x, x minus 1 squared, x minus x plus 3. And in this case here, this is supposed to be an a and a b, not a c and a d. So which intervals along the x-axis are positive intervals? Which intervals are negative? And remember, positive intervals are intervals that are above the x-axis, and the negative intervals are intervals that are below the x-axis. So this would be a negative down here in blue, the positive up here in red. So which intervals along the x-axis are positive intervals? Those are really where your zeros are. So we'll go ahead and graph that and look at the zeros. And it's going to have a few zeros here. If you zoom in, it's going to have a zero at negative 3, 0, and 1. So drawing this graph will help. So negative 3, 0, and 1. Let me move this out of the way so I can sketch it. And I'm going to have to look at the graph one more time. I already lost the track of what it looked like. So it goes below the x-axis. All right, so it's something like this. I already lost it again, so let me pull it back up just one more time. Oh, it goes down below the x-axis and down. So let me fix that here. So it goes down below and then down. All right, got it. So it's got three zeros, and those zeros are going to be at negative 3, 0, and 1. So let's look at the negative and positive intervals. So the positive intervals are the ones above the x-axis. So this one right here from negative 3 until you hit 0 would be considered a positive interval, negative 3 to 0. That's the only one that's above the x-axis. Everyone else is either going to touch the x-axis or be below it. So we got negative 3 to 0 for the positive. For the negative intervals, well, we have three of them. We have this one over here, the one in the middle, and then when it hits 0 again, it's a separate interval, so we'll treat those as two separate intervals. So this one's coming from the left side, so it's going to be negative 3 until you, or negative infinity until you hit negative 3. That's a negative interval. The other negative intervals are, they look like they're together as one, but we're actually going to treat it as two separate ones. So from 0 to 1 is one negative interval. Then once it hits the x-axis, it's neither positive or negative. So that's why we need to cut it off. So to the right, it's going from 1 to infinity. That's below the x-axis. So the other interval is going to be 1 to infinity, positive infinity. Those are your positive and negative intervals for this graph.